Hello friends, this is Jam here and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro combo trial video. New cards announced in the structure deck, which is the dark theme structure deck as opposed to the light one, which is the fairy one. And it's the Darkest Diabolos Lord of Lair, and it's going to be in the Curse of the Dark structure deck, which is a remake of an old structure deck. But this structure deck was never released in TCG. The old version, which had the original Diabolos in it, it was released in Japan though, so it's quite an interesting one. And apparently, I don't really know the archetype of this. Apparently it's like a virus archetype, and then the effect of this card is excellent as it relies a lot on dark monsters being tributed. If it's in the graveyard, you can summon it from the grave if a dark monster on your field is tributed, and you can tribute a dark monster on your side of the field, and your opponent will choose one card in the hand and they put it at the top or bottom of the deck. So it's basically like a crap version of Erebus's effect, like a very nerfed version, but it's much easier to pull off because you don't need to tribute summon or anything. You just have to tribute one monster and it can stay in the field. And the most annoying thing about this card is it can't be tributed, so that means no kaijus can out it, and it also can't be targeted. And as I said, the first effect, it brings itself back from the grave if something's tributed, so it does float. The tribute thing, it's supposed to work with viruses and stuff because of course like Crush Guard virus or the first virus, Eradicator, those cards tribute dark monsters to pull off effects to destroy cards in your opponent's field, deck and hand. The structure deck comes with other cards. I've not actually tried them out because I'm just trying out the level 8 dragon in this really funny dark looking deck, which abuses Link Kaiba and a bunch of other Link effects to tribute dark monsters. But apparently, like, the field spell lets you tribute dark monsters because all dark monsters in the field, all monsters in the field becomes dark in fact, and lets you tribute dark monsters anywhere in the field, so you can use that to sack off your opponent's monster. So there's gonna be some really funny mirror matches because Diabolos can't be tributed by your opponent's effect, but you can tribute it with your own effect. So I wonder what the mirror matches, if this becomes like a meta deck. I don't know if it's going to be a meta deck, of course. It's quite interesting concept though. Although there's a big restriction on this card, is hard ones return for both effects, so if you got 3 of them in the grave, only one of them can bring itself back during one turn. So that's why it's quite important to tribute on your opponent's turn as well, so you can have as many Diaboloses as you can. And it's a very hard monster to out, of course, can't be targeted, can't be tributed. Not the easiest monster out there. They made sure that it's a pain in the ass to deal with, and it's a big improvement from the old Diabolos monster. Now in this deck, I'm relying a lot on stuff like Grind Golem, which is easily one of the best cards in the deck. That's why it's at 1. I think it's banned in Japan, so I'm not quite sure. And I'm using a lot of just mostly dark monsters. It relies also on the Blackwing guys, because it tributes any monster on your side of the field. Once per duel, bring it back from the graveyard, and it makes a level 1 token. Of course, the level 1 token usually goes into Link Kaiba, which can tribute itself to negate an attack, or it can tribute cards on your side of the field to bring itself from the grave during your play's turns. Also put some janky stuff in there like Dark Creator to make it a bit more interesting. Now this deck idea actually came from one, I was practicing with the, testing with random decks, and this guy just went in with his deck and spammed like Needle Fiber 2 or 3 times, and they made like some dumb board, and then he dropped the Diabolos guy, and it was quite interesting. So I made like a very similar version to it, and it's basically just a pure dark deck with a lot of draw power because the Lair of Darkness still is at 3, and Diabolos is level 8, so there's Trade-In, Dark Creator is level 8, Grinding Golem's level 8, etc. The reason why I didn't make like a full structure deck version is because I'm pretty sure they'll release 1 or 2 more cards. They've only revealed a field spell, 3 monsters, and a trap card, which is another virus trap card. It destroys all monsters, doesn't care about the attack and defense of the monsters. But yeah, people are probably most hyped for this deck because we've actually never had the old version, and it seems like a solid deck. And I imagine with the Diabolos card, it seems fairly generic for dark decks, so there's going to be a bunch of variants that's going to pop up. It's like the one I just chucked in together. It works out and it just goes ham. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Apparently we're getting this quite soon as well, which is quite surprising actually. Yeah, there's a TCG version, and apparently it's going to be released on April. It's out in Japan in March, so that's probably one of the fastest structure deck release from OCG to TCG, and there might be a reason why they're rushing that. It might coincide with something that's getting released in the set coming out around April, which is quite exciting. Vendread maybe, I don't know. Although the field spell is extremely restrictive, which is fair, I guess. The end phase, it specs some tokens as well, which is interesting. You can only do the tribute thing once per turn, and you can only tribute one on your opponent's side of the field. Yeah, it's a bit like Soul Exchange, which is a very old card and doesn't actually swap the monsters, which is what I thought it did when I was a kid. And this lets you just take the monster. You don't actually take the monster, you just treat it as a tribute material. So like Stormforth, pretty much. And I believe it works around costs as well, so that's quite neat. Fuel Spell's pretty good. Fuel Spell seems to be like the best generic card that we're going to get in the structure deck for a while. Other than that, enjoy the rest of the combos in the video. And hopefully this brings up some bright sparks and ideas for Diabolos Turbo.